Imagine the moment your heart stops. A routine school bus, filled with laughter and the excited chatter of children with special needs, simply vanishes into the vast, untamed wilderness of Everglades National Park. No scream, no crash, no final message, just silence swallowing 10 vulnerable kids, 2 devoted teachers and their driver whole. This isn't fiction. It echoes the terror of real historical abductions, like the infamous 1976 Chowchilla kidnapping in California, where 3 desperate men hijacked a school bus carrying 26 children aged 5 to 14 and their driver after a summer outing. They transferred the victims to soundproofed vans, drove them for hours in disorienting circles, then buried them alive in an abandoned quarry van to demand $5 million. The children dug their way out after 28 harrowing hours using sheer willpower and a metal bar, emerging as survivors who taught the world that even in darkness, human resilience can break through. In our story, the Everglades, a UNESCO World Heritage Site of over 1.5 million acres of mangrove forests, sawgrass prairies, and alligator-infested waters, becomes the perfect hiding place, its labyrinthine waterways hiding secrets better than any man-made vault. Sarah Miller, a 38-year-old mother from Coral Gables, Florida, had always believed the world was kind enough to protect the fragile. Her son Ethan, 10, lived with developmental delays, thick glasses that slid down his nose, and a bright orange shirt he wore like armor on field trip days. "Mom, dinosaurs lived here once," he'd said that morning, eyes sparkling behind lenses smudged with breakfast jam. Sarah kissed his cowlick, whispering, "Be brave, little explorer." She never imagined those words would become prophecy. 48 hours later, the police station conference room reeked of stale coffee and despair. Fluorescent lights buzzed like trapped insects, casting shadows under Sarah's eyes that looked carved from grief. Mark, her husband, sat hunched, stubble shadowing his jaw, once immaculate, now a map of sleepless nights. Detective Garcia entered with papers, voice steady but laced with frustration. "We've combed every accessible trail, set checkpoints, deployed drones. Nothing." Sarah's whisper cut through. An entire bus doesn't vanish. Not with children who need routines, medications, wheelchairs. The whiteboard held 10 smiling school photos, innocent faces unaware of cruelty, plus the teachers, Ms. Johnson and Ms. Torres. Only Mr. Wilson, the male teacher left behind due to seating limits, had returned, alibi airtight via security footage. The timeline unfolded like a nightmare. 9:30 a.m. departure from the visitor center on a park-owned bus driven by veteran Carlos Mendez. Scheduled return 12:45 p.m. No radio response. No tire marks off-road. Bus discovered empty, 7 miles off-route, concealed but violence-free, suggesting voluntary exit or silent coercion. Sarah's mind raced. Ethan hated unfamiliar places. 3 classmates used wheelchairs full-time. Several were nonverbal. Multiple perpetrators, Garcia concluded. Planned. Targeted. Mark asked about motives. Ransom? Connections? Wealthy families paid $40,000 yearly tuition at Oak Ridge Academy. No demands yet. The absence screamed louder than any note. Then the breakthrough. Wheelchairs dumped in a remote swamp clearing, arranged in a deliberate semicircle. Pink, blue, green, purple frames half-submerged like colorful ghosts. 2 bodies nearby. Young Sophie Jacobson, cerebral palsy, and teacher Ms. Johnson, both executed with gunshot wounds to the head. Sarah swayed, relief warring with guilt when neither was Ethan. "Staged," she murmured, noticing the pattern. "They wanted these found." Garcia agreed. Distraction or message. Time of death. 10 to 12 hours prior. The others might still breathe. Philosophically, this chapter teaches that disappearance isn't just physical, it's emotional erosion. The idiom, vanish into thin air, meaning to disappear completely without explanation, gains terrifying weight here. Advanced vocabulary, labyrinthine, like a maze, complex and confusing. Think of the Everglades twisting waterways mirroring life's unpredictable paths. Historical parallel. Chowchilla survivors showed that buried hope can still dig free. Modern relevance to English learning. Practice phrasal verbs like comb through, search thoroughly, or break through. Overcome obstacles. In a world of uncertainty, when innocence vanishes, do we wait for rescue? Or do we become the light that searches the darkness? Reflect. What would you do if everything familiar disappeared tomorrow? Dawn painted the swamp gold, but hope felt poisoned. News helicopters circled like vultures. Headlines screamed, "Disabled children vanish in Everglades horror." The FBI took over, Special Agent Daniels announcing 2 confirmed deaths while dodging questions on terrorism or motives. In the visitor center, parents huddled. 8 sets now, the Jacobsons absent in grief. Daniels dropped the bomb. "We've received a ransom demand. $2 million cash within 24 hours for the remaining 8 children and Ms. Reyes." The email, clinical and cruel. Sophie and Catherine eliminated to demonstrate resolve. Each 12-hour delay means another loss. Wealthy families can afford this small price. A photo attached, blurry but unmistakable. Ethan in his orange shirt, now gray, tear-streaked, glasses askew, huddled with classmates on concrete. Sarah touched the screen, whispering his name. The note appended detailed financials, stock portfolios, properties, insider knowledge. Parents volunteered funds. Whitaker's offered half. Daniels warned, FBI policy forbids payment. It encourages more crimes. Rarely saves victims. Whitaker exploded. That's your policy, not ours. Sarah felt hollow. They're using our love against us. The public statement, no negotiation, aired nationwide. Sarah whispered to Mark, "They'll kill another." Home alone briefly, she entered Ethan's room. Dinosaur decals, half-built Lego, medication drawer. Her phone rang. Digitally altered voice. "Ethan needs meds. Missed doses. $500,000 individual deal for him alone. Come alone. No police." Proof of life text followed. Ethan with today's newspaper, timestamp fresh. Coordinates, abandoned warehouse. Desperation, overrode reason. Sarah raided the safe, $3,000 cash, jewelry, engagement ring, Rolex. Bank gave $70,000 max. She packed gun, meds, scribbled vague note to Mark. Drove to Portside Industrial Park, decaying warehouses, graffiti, silence broken by distant machinery. Ducked under loading dock. "I'm here for my son." 2 masked men emerged. Taller one scarred jawed neck. "Bag down. Step back." They counted. "Only 70 grand? Jewelry maybe 200 total." Ethan wheeled in, bound, taped mouth, eyes wide. "He needs meds." Sarah begged. Leader considered. "You've seen us. Take her instead. Husband pays for both." Sarah offered herself. As they moved to van, sirens wailed, tactical teams, helicopters. Chaos. Sarah lunged, freed Ethan partially. "Run. Hide." Gunfire erupted. Leader shot Sarah in shoulder. She shielded Ethan behind crates. SWAT advanced. Kidnappers fell. 1 dead, 2 surrendered. Mark arrived. Bank alerted him. He tracked phone, called FBI. "Stay with me," he pleaded, pressing wound. Paramedics stabilized Sarah. She whispered harbor from overheard kidnapper slip. Vocabulary spotlight. Overrode. Took control forcefully, like emotion overriding logic. Idiom, drop the bomb. Reveals shocking news suddenly. Philosophical teaching. Greed buries humanity. Chowchilla kidnappers. Wealthy heir Frederick Woods and accomplices planned $5 million but panicked, forgetting victims could escape. Modern English lesson. Use in light of considering new facts when reflecting on decisions. When shadows of ransom fall, does love become weakness or the strongest weapon? Ask yourself, would you pay the price or fight the darkness head-on? Hospital recovery. Sarah awoke to Mark's hand. Ethan's careful hug. Surgery successful. Ethan medicated, hydrated, psychologically supported. Detective Garcia arrived. Harbor raid freed 8 children and Ms. Reyes, alive but traumatized. Shocking twist, Miss Torres, beloved teacher, arrested as accomplice. Gambling debts to dangerous creditors drove her betrayal. Insider info on families, trip planning. Plan. Selective killings for pressure, individual ransoms. Mr. Wilson innocent, devastated. Sarah stunned. She read stories to them. Garcia. Desperation blinds. Interrogations revealed cold calculation. Children recovered in hospitals. Long healing ahead. Sarah held Ethan, knowing trauma lingers. Trust shattered. Nightmares persistent. Historical tie. Chowchilla perpetrators' arrogance. One bought vans with ransom dreams. Mirrored Torres' hubris. Philosophical. The love of money is the root of all evil. Biblical wisdom. Greed corrupts even caregivers. English learning. Idiom blindsided, caught off guard. Phrasal turn against, betray. Modern relevance. In today's world, data breaches expose vulnerabilities, protect privacy, like schools should vet staff. When trust breaks, how do we rebuild? Reflect. Who in your life holds power over your vulnerabilities, and are they worthy? Months passed. Sarah's shoulder scarred. Ethan's nightmares frequent. Therapy helped drawing dinosaurs, talking fears. Parents formed support network. Memorials for Sophie and Ms. Johnson. Community fundraised for medical needs. Sarah volunteered at Oak Ridge, advocating accessibility. Emotional growth. Sarah learned vulnerability's strength. Her sacrifice inspired unity. Mark became advocate for family tracking tech. Ethan gained confidence sharing story, age-appropriate. Philosophical. Adversity forges character. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Nietzsche-inspired idiom. English practice. Complex sentences for reflection. Although pain lingers, hope emerges like dawn over the Everglades. Modern tie. Mental health awareness grows. Seek help without shame. Question. In your darkest moment, what inner light guides you forward? Years later, survivors thrived. Ethan pursued paleontology. Sarah spoke publicly on resilience. Everglades tours now included safety education. Torres convicted. Justice served, but scars remained. Universal wisdom. Love conquers calculation. Community heals isolation. Historical echo. Chowchilla survivors lived full lives. Bus driver Ed Ray honored with park naming. English mastery. Use rise from the ashes. Rebirth after destruction. Modern. Advocate for vulnerable, special needs inclusion, child safety protocols. Final message. The swamp tried to swallow them, but courage refused to sink. In life's unpredictable wilderness, hold tight to hope, family, truth. What legacy will your resilience leave? Never stop searching for the light, even when the world goes dark.